Yo, what's up YouTube? So today's video is going to be on about how I scaled to my first million and how you can too. So out of 100 people who start a business, only about 5 will ever reach $1 million in revenue. And the reason most people never get there isn't because they're lazy, it's because they never learn how to analyze themselves. And weirdly enough, there is actually a scientific test that proves whether a creature is capable of self-awareness. So it's called the mirror test. And so let's get into a little bit of the science behind self-awareness. There are special neurons in the brain called VENs. These neurons are believed to play a major role in self-awareness, decision-making, and social intelligence. Scientists tested this using what's called the mirror self-recognition test. Here's how it works. Researchers would place a mirror in front of an animal and secretly put a mark or an X on the animal's body, somewhere it wouldn't normally see. If the animal noticed the mark in the mirror and tried to remove it, it means that it understood that the reflection was itself. And only a few species pass this test. So some chimpanzees, some apes, dolphins, and elephants, which actually means that these animals have a higher level of self-awareness than most species on Earth. But why does this matter, you ask? Because self-awareness is the foundation of success in business. If you can't objectively analyze yourself, your decisions, and your mistakes, you will never scale anything. I cannot stress this enough. It's the basis of everything you will be changing and enduring during the process. So when people ask me, how did you scale to your first million? It really comes down to 5 things. And honestly, they're simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. Step 1, pick the right industry. So first thing, pick an industry where you have a competitive advantage. This can be experience, skills, network, location, knowledge. For example, if you grew up around construction, starting a tech startup isn't the smartest first move. But starting something in construction, trades, real estate, or contracting, now you have some sort of leverage, right? Most people fail because they try to build a business in industries they know nothing about. And a lot of times it's because people are chasing the paper. And an important aspect of this is also that your leverage a lot of the times is what will keep you going in business. Studies have shown that children who are good at certain tasks prioritize doing those tasks. For example, if you were a kid who was naturally good at math, you most likely had a bias towards spending more time on what you were good at. Over time, this compounds. Use the leverage that you have. It will make your life easier. Naval Ravikant has a quote where he says that most people can't beat him in the industries that he chooses to participate in because for him, those industries are play. If he's playing for 16 hours a day and you're working for 16 hours a day, there's no way you're going to catch up to him, right? And that's why this is step 1. It's vital to your success. Step 2, study the millionaires in that industry. Before starting anything, ask yourself, are there millionaires in this industry in my city? If the answer is yes, good. That means it's possible. If not, you're picking the wrong boat. Don't do it. I see this over and over. People pick these industries where literally nobody is making money, but somehow they think they're the exception. And maybe, dude, you are, but chances are you're not. And if you're not, you want to give yourself the best chance at succeeding. Sometimes just being in the right boat makes the business work. So now what do? You found millionaires in that industry in your city. Now you study them. How do they generate leads? What marketing channels do they use? What ads do they use? How are they getting their referrals? What are their profit margins? What services do they focus on? Healthy businesses usually operate at around a 20% margin or higher. And if your industry can't realistically reach those margins, you may be in the wrong industry. Business is not about reinventing the wheel. It's about modeling what already works. Step 3, just start. This is where most people fail. They get stuck in analysis paralysis. They spend months building the perfect plan, the perfect website, the perfect logo, the perfect strategy, but none of that shit matters. You need action, right? So you need a website, you need to build it. You need to start lead generation right away. Ads, start testing them. Start do A/B testing. If you're doing meta ads, if you need to knock on doors, start knocking on doors. You need to hand out flyers, start doing it right now, right? Send emails, call people, tell people in your sphere of influence. Just start doing things. Execution beats perfection every single time. Moving on to step number 4. Work for 60 days, then analyze. Here's a rule that changed my life. Work 60 days straight on your business every day, then analyze. If you work 8 hours a day for 60 days, that's 480 hours of experience. 480 hours is enough time to know more than most people in that industry. So ask yourself, what worked? What didn't work? Where are the leads coming from? Where am I wasting time? What customers are the best? What services are most profitable? And again, self-awareness. Most businesses fail because founders never stop to analyze reality. So step 5, course correct and repeat. Now you implement changes, but here's the important part. Change one variable at a time. Maybe change the offer, or change the marketing channel, or change the pricing, or change the service. Do not change multiple things at once. You won't be able to track it. And then you run another 60-day cycle. So if you do this for 1 year, you'll course correct around 5 to 6 times. Each adjustment improves the business, and eventually you find a model that works. So now, just to break down some of this, the million dollar math here. Once the model works, scaling becomes easier. Let's say you reach 1 million in revenue at 20% profit margins, you make about $200,000 in profit. You pay yourself 100K and then you pay taxes on the remaining balance within that company and you'll have some money in the business to grow. So now, not only do you have a salary that you paid yourself, a growing company, and you have capital to invest. And I cannot stress this enough, set money aside for taxes. Seriously. Like, I remember reading about Will Smith when he made money from his rap career. He actually forgot to set aside money for taxes, and he owed so much in back taxes that he actually ended up starring in The Fresh Prince of Bel Air to actually pay off that debt. So again, set aside money for taxes. Not paying your taxes is a federal crime. I think, I don't know, Drake said that in one of his songs, but you get the point, right? Don't shoot yourself in the foot. In Canada alone, about 20% of businesses fail in their first year. Around 50% fail within 5 years, and nearly 60% don't make it past 10 years. So roughly 5% of businesses reach 1 million in annual revenue. Even among the ones that survive, only a small percentage ever scale significantly, which means most people never make it past the first stage. But the ones who do, they understand something most people don't. Success isn't luck, it's iteration. So if you want to scale to your first million, remember this: be self-aware, pick the right industry, study the winners, execute relentlessly, course correct every 60 days, and repeat. Do that long enough and eventually something clicks. And when it does, that's when the real game begins.